going to say something kind of controversial about med school. And, this is just my experience. Feel free to disagree with me. But I think med school itself was the easiest part. Two things were harder than med school. One was getting into med school, and the other was what you do after med school, which is residency. So in order to get into med school, this day and age, you have to have near perfect grades, a very close to perfect GPA, very good test scores, a stacked resume, including some sort of healthcare experience, maybe volunteering experience, usually some degree of research, the best letters of recommendation. I will also say that for me, undergrad was actually harder academically than medical school because I chose to major in physics and do the pre-med curriculum. So that was very challenging. And then I went to med school. The first 2 years were preclinical, so a lot of classroom-based lectures, a lot of problem-based learning, seeing some patients pretty early on, but that wasn't really the focus in the first 2 years. Took a shit ton of exams that were reasonably challenging, had to study a decent amount, but I got through it. It was mostly pass-fail. I didn't feel the same type of pressure I did as an undergrad. Second 2 years of med school, at least for me, were a little bit harder. That's when you do the bulk of your clinical rotations. And I felt like for me, I was always so book smart and a good test taker. So getting out in the real world and actually learning skills was more of a challenge for me. And you live with this constant scrutiny of being evaluated with every little thing that you do when you're in the hospital. So that sucked. That was hard. But then residency is brutal. The sleep deprivation, the nights, the 28-hour calls, and especially when you're an intern, feeling like you're giving up so much and you suck at your job. That is a shitty feeling. I remember being in a call room on New Year's Eve of intern year in the ICU, and I tried to make a little mini bed cot thing out of two wheelie chairs. And I was just reflecting, I have worked every holiday, every major holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, and I feel like I suck at my job. I felt absolutely terrible about myself. Turns out it's really common to feel like an idiot through most of medical training, so it's all kind of normal, but I wish I would have felt less alone at the time. But things got better. I went into my second and third years of residency feeling a lot better, and I would say for the most part, it just gets better and better from there. And the process, although it is hard, was probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done. I have zero regrets about it. I truly do feel like medicine is my calling and not just something that I do to get a paycheck. But yeah, it's not an easy process.